Have you ever loved something so much that you just want to make it happen every day? Me neither. This is a podcast a day. Yeah, oh, sorry. Didn't know you was going to catch me there. I was just practicing my vocal. Dune Part 2. I saw it. And usually I'm talking about films that I don't like and recommending them to you because my taste is bad. And if I don't like them, you will therefore maybe have a chance at enjoying them. I then try and, log a review into the old letterbox linked somewhere. But today, I want to take a moment out to actually review a film that's just came out recently. It's March. You call yourself a letterboxed guy. How is this the first film you've seen in the pictures this year? I know I'm a fraud. I feel like that's probably a bit bad. First film I've seen, 1st of March. Yeah, I saw it on the day it came out. Yeah, I'm a tryhard. But nothing tickled my fancy. Sorry, I didn't want to see Madam Web. But I've went and I've seen Dune Part 2. And let me tell you something right now. Because with a lot of these things, if you like a film, if you don't like a film, you kind of want to know immediately straight out the gate someone's general vibes. Because I know some people go to a review or reaction because they want to hear either an opinion that matches their own, so they feel more validated, or maybe better understand why they like to hear someone else sort of, articulate that. Or they want to hear a varied opinion, someone else. Why didn't they like it? I want to find someone who didn't like it, which I think is a little bit more rare if we're being honest, but some people do look for that. So straight out of the gate, I'm going to say I liked Part 1. And I liked Part 2 more. Which I think is what you need to know. It's a bloody good film, isn't it? It's bloody long. Well, it's actually not. And that's actually one thing I want to say. I don't think anyone's spoken about the length of this film yet. But, films these days, most of them are pretty long. I think I've just been sort of maybe trained to just accept that most films are over 2 hours now. And maybe I'm not giving the film enough credit. Maybe it's actually doing things well in terms of its pacing or in terms of what's happening on screen and how interesting it is, how captivating it is, right? I didn't see it in IMAX. I didn't see it in anything particularly special. I saw it in a bang average cinema screen and not even on one of like a particularly large screen. To like try and describe that, the cinema I see it in, the screen, I would say most large screens you'd say there is 2 stairways, a large section of seats in the middle, stairway, and then seats on the outsides. This was a 1 stairway place, so like pretty small, so smallish screen, but I like it enough. It's just my go-to. So I didn't see it in like the most, how it's meant to be viewed sort of fashion. But to still say, I was still immersed, right? And I have to say that I don't know if I'm giving the film credit for it or if it's just because I'm just better with time now. But I didn't feel like I was just in there for ages. With Oppenheimer, I kind of was. And again, I'm not sure if that was down to it just being longer or if because I kind of lost steam when it got to the black and white, more Robert Downey Jr. stuff, which I know some people like more. But yeah, so many Marvel movies even are like, 2 hours minimum. So it's pretty easy to actually sit down for one of these. And it's good, man. I think that like what you get in this one, I don't understand most of the characters. I haven't read the books. I don't understand everything that's going on. I recognize the names. I couldn't repeat any of them to you right now. Like, it's one of those films where in the moment, I feel like with this a lot of the time when I felt the same with the first one. Like 50% of the time minimum when I'm watching a scene, I don't know like 100% what's happening or what the ramifications of what's happening. Are these the good guys right now? Wait, their suits looked like what again? Oh, wait, is this for the person who they named earlier? Wait, what's she doing here? What's her intention to say? Like, most of the time, well, not most, a lot of the time when I'm watching the scene, I'm like, I don't know entirely what's happening. But 5 minutes later, I know, oh, that was what was happening there. So I feel like I'm kind of watching films like this in a delay. Not because this isn't like a film critique problem. It's not like something I'm saying is good or bad. It's more just like, maybe I'm just not good at understanding stuff, but it's one of these films I watch with like 5 minute lag. I'm like catching up. I'm like, okay, oh, that's why that happened. And I would say there was like what this film had was like moments in a good and bad way. In a good way because it had moments almost like it was episodic TV. It had moments like sort of like reveals you'd get at the end of an episode that almost like evoke a duff like at EastEnders. Obviously not on like a cheap level of EastEnders. Like I'm your dad what? He's back from the dead. What? That's not, but just like in a sense, when you watch a great show and it ends on a cliffhanger, you're like, oh my God, I got away. Not really, because streamers are things, so I might binge it, type thing. But what I mean is, when it's like, oh, this is all spoilers, by the way. I didn't make that clear. It is. I should probably say that. So I'm going to be spoiling as of right now. But, like the two that I can think of right now, and they kind of play like that with the way the music goes and the way the lines are delivered, is when Paul can see like past and future now. It's all clear from he drinks like the fucking worm piss. I don't remember, but effectively he drinks the worm juice, right? And worm juice sounds like it could be something else. But it's from the worm, the blue stuff, and he's like, he realizes he's Harkonnen, he's part of them. He realizes his mum was a doer of them, whatever. And like the way he says it, the way the line is delivered, the way the sort of music is, the shot or whatever it holds him, it's delivered in a way like it's gonna cut to black, sort of credits roll, click on to the next episode type thing. It's like this reveal kind of thing, which I like. It's kind of fun. Another scenario like that was, damn, I actually don't remember now. I didn't make any notes. I feel like I probably should have did that. But they had these moments basically where it's like they have these reveal moments, which was fun. It'll probably come back to me later as I more deeply talk about the film. I didn't take anything while watching the film. I just for some reason seemed to get an itchy nose while doing this. I had to explain that because if you're visually seeing me, I was itching my nose quite a lot. But now I'm realizing that if you're listening to this on audio, you can't see me itching my nose, and it therefore doesn't matter. But yeah, the movie has moments like that. It also has moments where, and this is probably maybe somehow being affected by the trailer, which so again, this technically isn't something the film's doing wrong. It's more like trailer stuff. But like the trailer has these shots, and I can remember, I can't remember if it's the teaser trailer or the first official trailer. But I don't know which trailer it was. But there's one I remember very specifically. And I watched it a few times. I watched like people react to it, so I feel like I have it pretty well engraved into my head. And they had this like compilation of moments. That's what a trailer is, right? Of these things happening, and I was like, oh, I can't wait to see what leads to that on screen. I can't wait to see that on screen. I can't wait to see the big moment that comes around that. And it feels like a lot of these moments, actually, when you watch the film, they kind of just pass or they happen and they sneak up on you, and you think, oh wait, I didn't think that was going to happen. I thought there'd be way more pavlova around everything when that happened. I think a couple of those moments would maybe be the three that immediately are coming to me is when like Timothy Chalamet is walking towards camera, and in the background, like a big worm comes out of the ground, sort of like walking. I don't look at explosions type thing. Walking away as that happens. Not that these weren't big moments, but just in the sense that just where that was placed. The second one, when Stilgar, I did remember his name, but yeah, Javier Bardem is like, I don't care what you believe. I believe when he's talking to Paul about the this whole prophecy and stuff, him being basically the chosen one. And then the third one being when Zendaya, Chani, I believe, is like in the room saying this prophecy is how they enslave us type stuff. And those obviously happened. 2 second clip here, 2 second clip here, 2 second clip in the trailer. Obviously the Chani one in the thing is like, is just a moment. She's like about to walk out of our room. She says, this prophecy is how they enslave us, and she's pulled down to the ground, told to be quiet. And that to be honest, I don't need to go into the other ones because that one kind of just like microcosm can explain how I felt about the other clips, which is that it was less that these scenes were bad or like, oh, that wasn't done well, but it's just in my head I built up that, oh, these moments are going to be like real high moments, or like that's going to be a small part of a bigger sort of moment where this character goes off and like breaks down why that like this whole way they're believing, this whole like false prophecy thing which she believes, right, is like an issue, and that she's just gonna like kind of like break things down in a way. It's gonna be this big moment, or she's gonna go back and forth with another character, or she's gonna like be in that scene be rising people up who also agree with her. But it was more just like, no, the thing you saw in the trailer was the whole of it. The Javier Bardem on the short conversation, he says at the end, and it didn't hit me in the same way, and I expected those to be moments on the end of something where a big thing was happening, but it wasn't. So it was more just down to a me thing, less than the film. I was kind of like, oh no, I just watched this trailer a lot. I watched a lot of people react to the trailer, so much so that I'm literally quoting the trailer right now, and I can remember the lines really well because because of the trailer. And that's the thing. Actually, no, let me finish a point before I immediately jump into another one. But like, yeah, that like it was more like, you know, having something in your making. It's like a lot of people who like comic book movies, they'll have theories and stuff like, oh, I reckon this character is actually related to this character, or this thing's gonna happen. And regardless of if something better actually plays out in the film, you're kind of like, oh, that wasn't how I imagined it, and that for some reason that puts like a bad taste, even though that's just on you, bro. The second point I was gonna make, I already don't remember. Um, do I remember it? Don't think I do. The first, I'm really impressed when people like can talk um in podcasts. They go off on tangents and then they remember like the beginning part, and they finish on the line they were going. I've done it twice now, talking about things, wanted to get to the second thing, it's gone. Once it's gone, it's gone. But yeah, so it was another thing I'll say about which I think is good about the film is that the first one, it's I think it's you could argue both have this kind of thing where it's like it's an experience, it's a great score, it's these big things happening on the screen where you're just meant to go wow, and the dialogue is a second hand, or like not the dialogue but the characters, how deep they are and stuff like that. But I think in this one you could maybe say the same thing, but the characters are a lot more. It's not even that they have to be more interesting. Like it's not like I think anyone's like particularly deep or like really really layered or anything like that. It's just more that they're more vocal or they have outbursts and like they're more passionate about what they're saying. Like you have like Zendaya's character who, you know, believes one side of something. Javier Bardem's character believes another side of something. Timothy Chalamet's character somewhere in between that, and stuck in between that. And it's not that I need like particularly like this revelation or this deep thing or this like struggle. It's just that now I'm seeing it voiced. Now I'm seeing him shout at this person. Now I'm seeing them have this intimate moment. Now I'm seeing, you know, just more like character moments. And this is what I was going to say before is that although Denis is like well, he said this. It was probably misinterpreted in some way, but that he doesn't like dialogue that much. That's probably how it's been misinterpreted. He probably does like dialogue. It probably is still important to him, but like he greater appreciates and how he tells stories and stories that he likes. The image and the sound, and that's what you remember. You remember moments, and he wants to create moments visually on screen that will be remembered more than an iconic quote to be said. You look at maybe someone like Marvel, maybe they're more on things like callbacks, and they want their memorable moments to be "I am Iron Man," you know, snap his fingers. It's a callback to the first film and whenever else he said it, and like I can do this all day. They want these moments and these quotes to be remembered, and maybe he prefers stuff that's imagery and creating stuff like that. He's very particular on like. I remember Charlemagne talking about the first film and that then he wanted him to kneel in the sand in a particular way, and the sun was getting low and there was rushing. He just kept redoing it because he wanted it to look a really particular way that was in his head. His favorite shot from this film was the way Paul stands up on the worm when he's about to ride it for the first time. That sounds mad, but that's what happens in the film, right? When he's about to do that for the first time, ride the worm, and you know, images. But outside of that, and that was something I felt beforehand because I like dialogue. I like both is the issue. I don't want one to be lost for the other one. I was like, ooh, I hope that's not like it just means we're going to get a bunch of quiet scenes and just like looks at people. Because although they can be good in scenes, they can be like sort of La La Land, sort of heartbreaking scene, Gosling that look over to Emma Stone type thing, oh, you know, as much as they can be cool, it's like I do also like dialogue at the same time. Like The Bear TV show, I liked it. I've been like, I don't watch many TV shows, but I like The Bear's got great dialogue. Not seen Succession. Sure, the dialogue's good in it, and that's probably something I'd like about it. I'm not saying I need fast succession like dialogue in this. I'd feel so weird, but like, and when you do get those moments back and forth, like when he's arguing with someone, like I think he had a little short argument with Christopher Walken's character maybe at a point when he's feeling himself. When he gets up and he gives that speech, and he's feeling himself, and he's like basically saying, "Yo, I'm him," you know. They hit harder. But the original point I'm trying to make is that even though he favors those things and he appreciates those things, there was still like good dialogue in it. He still had like, you know, one, at least one little callback in there in terms of dialogue, little payoff thing. I can hear, you know, I recognize your footsteps, old man. I like that as a way to reintroduce the Gurney. Um, you know, when he's giving his speech, I think it hits. Um, I think the dialogue hits between Zendaya and Charlemagne. And that's something I quite liked. The film is pretty like, it's not forcing anything um, in any kind of way. Everything's kind of like alluded to. Everything is like, it's there and it's brutal, but it doesn't need, like, it doesn't need to show me like knives like stabbing into somebody's eyeballs, you know, like on screen. Show me it for me to feel like it's brutal. It doesn't need to show me tons of blood for me to be like, oh, that was brutal. Like, but yeah, Austin Butler, his character feels brutal. I still don't like him being on screen like, oh, he's gonna do something crazy. I don't like that. He's gonna slit someone's throat. You don't have to like see. Maybe in the Joker, they felt the need. They have to show you him stabbing someone multiple times with scissors or whatever, in that kind of way. This kind of, you know, Austin Butler has a similar feeling for me. And when I'm watching it, like, I don't know what he's gonna do next without them having to do that. Like, they show Zendaya and Charlemagne bone, but like, they don't need to show like we don't need to waste runtime basically of a long scene and then boning and then they get to the conversation. You just show they're out of breath, they're done, they're having the conversation afterwards. The moment still has the same effect. They don't need to show Austin Butler, you know, completely tearing someone apart. He can go in, you can still tell it's brutal, he's killing someone. And I'm not trying to say I'm a, you know, I can't handle gore or like intimate. It's just like, I think sometimes they're kind of just like, when those things happen too much on screen, it's like, I just, a lot of the times with these types of scenes, I'm kind of like, yeah, I get what this is now, and now I've got to watch it for the next 2 minutes. But can we just, like, can we get back to it? Because, like, can we get back to the story? This is kind of just like wasting time type things. I feel like sometimes in the moments, unless like the story is like basically about that. I remembered, I told you I'd get back to it earlier when I said it has these reveal type moments, like, you know, which, you know, this movie's compared to Empire Strikes Back, not because I don't know if it's like it in beats wise, but just in a sense that this is your Empire Strikes Back, this is your perfect sequel in your trilogy, you know, type thing. I am your father. End of the episode kind of moment. Has that with the, you're Harkonnen, we're Harkonnens, bone dun, you know, it has like that kind of moment. Another one was, to me, it felt like this, maybe in a slightly less so way, but when the like Bene Gesserit woman is like seducing Austin Butler's character, who's like so weird. He's like a masochist, but like actually, like not just like, oh, you're kind of like a sucker for pain, aren't you? It's like, no, you actually like type thing, in a very weird way. And she's like sort of seducing him in like, but seducing him in like a way that is just so abstract to like just a human, you know, right? And then she like calls him over with the voice, where she makes him kneel down, and then it's like a bit of a misdirect. You're thinking she's like, "Yo, touch my box," and you're thinking, "Whoa, I thought this was a 12A," but no. But basically, it's like, "Oh, we're doing the test thing from the first one." It's like a little callback, and then it pans over. The camera work, I just liked it, to the Gom Jabbar or whatever little knife thing, and he's probably getting off this. I don't know, but like, that was like end of an episode type thing. Like, oh, we're doing that. Oh, that's cool. I want to start the next one immediately. I was going to go to bed, but now I have to watch the next episode. That was just cool moments like that. The first movie was the exact same. This movie was the exact same for me. I enjoyed the film exponentially more the morning after I saw it. Like, this again, I think I saw it yesterday, and I liked it. But then I woke up this morning and I was thinking about it, and I was like, I like this more than when I immediately walked out of the cinema. I don't know why, but I had that both times with these films. And yeah, I think the only thing I didn't, when I was watching, I was like, oh, was because I'm basic. I was like, oh, I want Paul to just be a basic good guy type thing, because that's just, you know, you get used to that. And then the second thing, which was the thing I said about trailers, like, oh, that moment wasn't how I thought it was going to be. So those are the only real things. I gave it like a 4.5 star on Letterboxd, so I clearly don't really have any problems with it. And the review I'm going to give it is very simple, which is this is everybody's new favorite film, which, you know, just in the sense that people are describing as like it's the Two Towers to the Lord of the Rings, it's the Empire Strikes Back to the Star Wars trilogy. This is the Dune Part 2 to the Dune Part 1, Part 2, Messiah type thing like that. The Dark Knight to the, you know what it is? Like, it's your magnum opus, it's your cool thing. And I know a lot of people watch this and said, I still prefer Blade Runner, or that's like more their style, that's more their whatever. That's fine. It's opinions. A lot of other people love it though, and it's going down a treat. And I think a review of this is your new best favorite film is probably accurate to a lot of people. And if not, this is your new favorite film at least this year. I know we're only in March, but yeah, little review, little review. I'd like to do more of these, but it's got to be more stuff to see, which so far there hasn't been. Put a day, Doctor Way, 300. I don't know what. Thank you.